It has been reported that Kevin Durant is frustrated with the Phoenix Suns with their start to the NBA season, revolving mostly around the fact that they're 15-15 to start the season, and the fact that they haven't had Bradley Beal to be able to play games yet, and well, he's played a couple games, but not enough to get everything started. And I feel like with a group of guys like that, they probably need time to get used to playing with each other. So if they're not playing with each other a whole lot, it's going to probably mess up some chemistry and stuff like that for sure. And yeah, it's just a very weird situation for Phoenix because they really went all in on getting Bradley Beal, hoping that was their last piece. They gave up a lot of depth and stuff, just hoping to push them over the edge, because after what happened in the playoffs last season and firing Monty Williams, they just went, all right, let's just go get another scorer. We don't really care about the depth. We're gonna have the best. They want to have the best starting five in the league with Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Yusuf Nurkic, and whoever you want to put in that small forward or whatever, Josh Okogie maybe. And yeah, it all sounds good, but this hasn't really turned out to be as good as they wanted it to be. Bradley Beal's been injured all year. Kevin Durant has been playing amazing. Devin Booker had a stretch of games where he was out, but yeah, they just haven't been able to really show what they can really do. And I don't know, I think a big part of that again is just not having the depth to really compete with these other teams. If you want to be a top team in the West, especially, like, they don't have, it feels like those guys who come off the bench and can give them time and minutes that will be productive for the Suns. The biggest thing also is that it feels like Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, it seems like the starters have been having to play a ton of minutes. Kevin Durant had to play like 41 minutes in their last game. Devin Booker had to play like 36. And if you're asking, especially Kevin Durant, because he's on the end half of his career with being like 36 or something like that, asking him to play 40 minutes a night, trying to be score 30 points a night, which is not a problem for him. Obviously, he can do that. But then to ask him to do that, and then also, want him to do that obviously in the playoffs and stuff like that, I feel like that's a lot to ask. And that's where you definitely miss having the depth, where you can, give them more breaks and, trust in having, people to come off the bench to be productive and give your top players a break so they can be even more productive by, not being so tired. And yeah, it's just been a really weird scenario. It was really unfortunate that Bradley Beal came back from his injury, and then he got injured almost right after it, and so then he's expected to come back, I think, early January. He's getting reevaluated early January. And yeah, Kevin Durant was kind of frustrated with Woj coming out with the report of him saying that he's frustrated, which I guess makes sense, because he was saying that any single time anything's said about me, it's always something negative. But whenever people want to say about how good of a teammate I am in the locker room and stuff, everyone wants to ignore it. I think I'm really just paraphrasing. I don't think that's exactly what he said, but something along the lines of that. And yeah, it's just kind of gets hard to trust Kevin Durant in situations like this, because every single time he's claimed that's not true. It has always been true, and he ends up eventually asking to leave the place. Not saying that he's requesting a trade from the Suns, but the Suns have really just not planned out to be how he wanted it to go. I'm sure not how anyone wanted it to go. Again, they could still, Bradley Beal could come back if they can stay healthy, which is a big if, because, Kevin Durant's history of being injured, and Devin Booker, it seems like they don't ever, get crazy injuries, but they always just have these injuries here and there. Like Kevin Durant, when he, I think, first came to the Suns during warm-ups or something, he slipped and twisted his ankle or something like that. They always get these little knick-knack injuries where it's ankles, sprains, all this kind of little kind of stuff that just puts you on a shelf for like a little bit. And come playoff time, if that, they got to really bet on that not happening during playoff time, because they don't have anyone to really lean back on, especially in their bench unit. If they had more people they can rely on the bench, I feel like it would be much better for them, but it's just not the case. And another big issue, I'm not saying he is the issue, but not having like a true defensive presence has also been hurting them, especially in the front court. Having Jusuf Nurkic as your main center to go against the guys in the East, not in the East, in the West, like the Anthony Davises, the Nikola Jokic, the Rudy Gobert's, not as Rudy Gobert is a what is it called? Offensive threat, but a defensive threat for sure. I would say Jusuf Nurkic is definitely on the lower end of that tier of this kind of players. He probably is, I would say, close to a Rudy Gobert, but he's been playing really solid. Don't get me wrong, but there's just no one on that team that I look at when it comes to defensively, like, oh, this guy can stop anyone. This guy can, get a stop when they need it. I feel like when it comes to, like, if I was a Phoenix Suns fan and I was watching a close game, down to the wire, and we need a stop, my heart would be racing, because I'm like, I don't know if they will be able to actually get a stop. And that's probably not a good feeling to have, especially when it comes to playoff games. You need those clutch, stops and stuff like that. But if you're not going to have a guy that can do that, it's going to, mess with your team a lot more when it comes to your chances to win a championship. Because I feel like every championship or, competent playoff team, they have always, had a relatively good defense. And the Suns just don't really come off to me as a very strong defensive team. And the thing that's really struggling, or what really hurts the Suns, is that if they were want to go for another move at the deadline to get a defensive piece or something to make their team better, they're very, very low, and they have very they have a low amount of assets that they can even use to be able to get those pieces that they would want. So I feel like they're kind of limited to what they can do. And yeah, so I'm sure Kevin Durant isn't going to request a trade this season. I mean, depending on how bad it goes, if they are below 500 by the trade deadline, who knows? But I don't know. I've never been a big believer or big, super team kind of guy, because every single time it feels like something goes wrong, especially when it comes to Kevin Durant and, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving and stuff like that, or really any super team. The only time this super team I feel like, really worked was, 2017 with Kevin Durant and the Warriors, because, who really is stopping that team? But I feel like the talent is so much better now, and depth matters a lot more. The Nuggets won because they had a good depth. They had, Bruce Brown, Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown, and, just a ton of small pieces that played good roles and stuff like that were able to get the job done. And I feel like that's more the formula for success. And then the Suns just went all in, and they were really, it felt like they just took a half-court shot, hoping it lands, and it hasn't landed quite yet. So, things could still turn around for the team. We'll see what happens whenever Bradley Beal comes back from injury and stuff like that. But yeah, it's been a rough start for the Suns. I'm sure people are not very happy with how it's been going. And yeah, so yeah, comment down below what you guys think will happen and what your guys' thoughts on this whole situation is. And yeah, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. If you did, please remember to drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.